Hello, hello. Hello adventurers, welcome to another live stream. We're going to be doing some more Marvel Champions, continuing my current obsession. And I'm not entirely sure who we're going to be facing quite yet. I took out a few characters, or a few villains rather, and I was going to see if anyone had a preference. So I do have Kang out, and I've done Kang a handful of times solo. I did do him once on Expert, and there's still a lot of, I guess, like different things that could happen since he has 4 different forms in his second phase, and I've only faced one of them, so there's 3 other ones I have not done yet. And then I did Mysterio on Standard today, but I have not done that one on Expert. And that one was pretty interesting, where it had a lot of encounter cards going into my deck. It didn't seem too bad, but I also may have gotten lucky with the cards that were actually being drawn and triggering as additional encounters. I didn't really have too much overlap, so it wasn't too bad there either. But I think you are in here, babe. If you want, I'm gonna have you decide. So do you want to see me do Kang on Expert or Mysterio on Expert? And I think we have a pretty good setup today, so it should be pretty clear for the cards on the table. Leave any comments or feedback if you guys have any. I'm still working on trying to optimize the setup as best as possible, especially for card games where you have such tiny text. I'm trying to see if I can get it to look, you know, as good as possible, as clear as possible. So for those that are watching and viewing, you know, they have a pretty good experience of doing so. Okay, Mysterio Expert. All right. Let me make sure I have all the cards. And of course, this is going to be the time I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get absolutely trashed. So we're going to be starting in stage 2. And I know it's pretty small on your phone, so it may not be a super good example, but I believe it should be pretty clear on a full screen now for a lot of these cards, but we shall see. All right, for this guy, we need Personal Nightmare, Whispers of Paranoia, and Standard, and the Expert set as well, since we're doing Expert. There's Whispers, Expert, Personal Nightmare, and we're going to be using Standard 3. So for those that do play Marvel Champions, and those that may not, there are Standard encounter cards that typically go in the villain decks, and they have a couple of different standard encounter decks. So I believe Age of Apocalypse came out with Standard 3, and I've been using that one as of recently instead of Standard 1, and I much more enjoy the kind of environment and slow buildup to your side, or I'm sorry, your obligation nemesis cards. That's the word. There's kind of like a slow buildup with Pursued by Past that will add counters as you're playing. And once that hits 3 counters, that's going to force your Nemesis minion and Nemesis side scheme to come out. So you can kind of see it happening and building up, where in the other deck, Standard 1, you kind of would just, sometimes you draw it, and congratulations, now all of your Nemesis stuff is out on the table. So it typically didn't really end games for me, but it felt very swingy and just like you didn't really have an opportunity to react unless you had something to preemptively stop a treachery card. So I much prefer this. I feel like it gives me some time to get my board going, get my character going before those Nemesis characters start coming out, and I'm a little bit more prepared. So I do prefer Standard 3 over Standard 1 from the runs that I've done so far. And then we're just using Expert 1. I don't have Expert 2 yet, which I believe I heard is more difficult than Expert 1. but that one comes with the Hood scenario pack, which I do not have yet. So let me make sure we're putting this on the right side. Yes, so this side is going to have the counters. We're going to go ahead and throw that off to the right. Starts with nothing. And then for Mysterio setup, we're going to have a shifting apparition apparition that's going to be out, and it has one scheme, one attack, guard, so I have to kill him before I can hit Mysterio. And when defeated, if this minion was defeated with excess damage, the defeating player shuffles the top card of the encounter deck into their deck. So the way I read that is if I do more than 1 damage, because it only has 1 health, I am going to have to put a encounter card into my deck. And that's kind of Mysterio's whole thing that he has going on here, is he's going to be putting encounter cards into your deck as much as he possibly can. That's kind of his goal. Because as those get put into your deck, if I were to draw them or discard them, then they are going to be put face down in front of me as encounter cards, so it's going to cause me to take way more encounter cards than the typical villain phase would. So as those go into my deck and get shuffled and I continue to draw, you know, you can get into a scenario where you draw multiple of them, and now you have, you know, 2, 3, 4 encounter cards all in one go and can get easily overwhelmed. So I have not had that happen yet, but I do imagine it is something that can happen. And then his second portion here, it looks like for when revealed, since we're doing expert, he's immediately going to put the top card of the encounter deck into my player deck. So that is also going to happen. For the bottom portion, Creeping Fear, anytime he activates, after you resolve a boost card during Mysterio's activation, place that card on the bottom of your deck if it has the illusion trait. So some of his cards will have illusion traits on them in bold. If they do, they're going to be put on the bottom of my deck. So once again, just increasing those chances of getting multiple encounter cards in one turn. Yeah, and he has 17 health in solo, so 17 per player, and has a base of 2 attack and 2 scheme. Okay, so we'll go ahead, set them up over there, get his health set up. 17. And we're going to be playing Cable. We are doing a Justice Cable deck. This was created by Web Warrior Fanatic, who I've been watching a lot of his content recently, and just dabbling in a lot of his decks that he makes, and I am obsessed with this character and deck that he created. The only change I made was I added a deft focus, because I realized that I would get really strong ramp up, but I would be in these scenarios a lot of the times where I was able to play a decent amount of my cards, but then my actual Cable identity cards, which are usually the really big powerhouses of the deck that do a lot of damage once I get my side schemes going, they are all superpowers. So they cost 3 and 2. The one that removes threat is 2, and the one that does a lot of damage is 3. And I would always just be in these scenarios where I felt like I needed, if I had one more resource, I could play another card. So I thought having Def Focus in there would be a good addition, and in the 2 playthroughs I've done with Def Focus, when it's come out or I was able to get the upgrade out on the table, it did exactly that. I think yesterday I did a playthrough with my friend. We did a 2-player playthrough, and with that I was able to easily get 2 of my big attack cards. I forget what they're called. And by the end of that turn, with all my allies, everything else going on, I did 38 damage in 1 turn, which was pretty awesome. So that was all thanks to Def Focus and having that 1 additional resource for superpowers to allow me to easily do that. And of course, there was some card draw. I think I was able to get Nick Fury. A whole lot of things were going on there. So with that being said, let's just make sure there's nothing else we need to set up. We already have that guy out. Okay, and then we're going to flip this over, and for 1B, it says Force Interrupt. When you would draw or discard an encounter card from your deck, deal it to yourself as a face down encounter card, and then draw 1. So this is the one I was kind of referring to here. When those encounter cards get put into my deck, if I ever were to draw them or discard them, they are going to be then flipped down as an encounter card that I will then have to activate during the villain phase. I do get to draw another card to kind of replace that one, but if you have really bad luck, it could be another encounter card, and it can kind of like spiral out of control. This has a max scheme count of 8 per player, so it's 8, and it starts with 2 per player. So, ooh, that's interesting. Oh no, I guess that both numbers would go up. It's going to go up 1 threat per turn. We do not have any acceleration, so we don't have to worry about that. And I do need to take the top card of the encounter deck and shuffle it into mine. So I will do that here in a second. Now, I'm sure there's a order that I'm not 100% sure of, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong and you do know, please, I think I get to draw my 6 and mulligan and redraw, and then do my special alter ego activation on Cable, which is during setup. So I get to search the deck or discard pile for a side scheme and put it into play, and then I add the encounter card into my deck and shuffle it. That's how I've been playing for this character. I don't know. I don't know if the villain gets revealed prior to my setup, but I don't think so. So that's something that I'm not 100% sure on. I'm sure there's somewhere I can look for some clarification, but that's how I'm going to play this, just in case anyone's wondering and they seem like maybe something is wrong there. I'm hoping to find something that I can do 1 damage with to kind of knock this guy out without having to put another encounter card in my deck right off the bat. But we will have to see what we draw. This is a Justice deck. I know I said Web Warrior Fanatic created it, but it is a Justice deck. So, you know, because I'm playing a lot of player side schemes, since that is kind of what Cable wants to do in order to get his re-ready on his hero side and buff up a lot of his identity cards, Justice just plays really well into this, and it also ends up ramping up to a point where I can do a decent amount or considerable amount of damage while also playing a thwart heavy deck. So that is fun. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and draw our 6. I'll move that over for now. Got a Mind Scan, Quasar, Heroic Intuition, Professor, Power of Justice, and Wraith. I like having Professor out right away. That's awesome. We probably don't care for Mind Scan this early, and losing one probably won't be the end of the world. Also, for the record, I'm not saying I know how to pilot this deck perfectly. I am just going kind of the way that has worked for me thus far. And, you know, like I said earlier, if I make mistakes, please let me know in the comments. So, none of these characters hit for 1. That's kind of what I was hoping for in order to just kind of knock that minion out pretty quickly. We are going to get some side schemes out, so Quasar could be very effective for that. And Heroic Intuition right away is awesome, because that's going to allow us to have 3 thwart and knock out a lot of our player side schemes in one go and trigger our re-ready. So that is fantastic to have. So we're definitely going to keep that. Definitely going to keep Power of Justice. Definitely going to keep Professor. I think we may get rid of Wraith. Although I love the 3 attack, I just don't think we're going to have the resources to play him. And as of right now, we're probably not going to have the resources to play Quasar either. Yeah, I think we may get rid of Quasar as well, because it's just, there's a chance, but there's not a high chance. And then I feel like there's just more I could possibly do. So we're going to mulligan, there's the energy. Draw 3 more. Okay. And then we are going to do our setup ability where we get to play a side scheme. Put it right into play for free. We could do leadership here. And we do have Professor. Oh, I kind of like this. Oh, this is actually an insane starting hand. The more I'm looking at it, this is kind of broken. So I'm going to be able to buff my thwart knock out a side scheme. Then with my alter ego, before I even do that, I can get another player side scheme into my hand. So I could grab backup plan, or is it call for backup? Probably butchered that. I'm gonna be able to knock out 2 of these, is pretty much what I'm getting at. Build support, that's the one. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start with call for backup with our setup ability. We're gonna go ahead and shuffle, and we're gonna throw in the encounter deck or encounter card now, since we're already shuffling before we start our turn. Get that out of the way. Wow, this is pretty insane. Now the question is do we want to burn precognition, which is going to leave us kind of in the unknown of what cards are going to be coming out. And that can be very powerful to kind of set that up ahead of time. So we get to look at the top 5 cards, or I'm sorry, no. Precognition is terrible. I was thinking of a totally different card. So precognition allows you to look at the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the number of side schemes in the victory display. So at most, that would probably get a use of 2. And we would be able to discard one of them if we didn't like kind of the results of that. Or we could use it as a resource for Professor. And then we can use the energy, which is overkill. Actually, we're probably going to draw, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. So yeah, I think we are going to get rid of precognition because the value of that's going to be pretty low. We could get it to 2 this turn, which is probably what's going to happen, but I don't think that's... We're still very early on. We're very healthy. We should be able to get some threat out of there, so I don't think that's too much to worry about here. So we're going to pay 1 to play Professor, and with Professor, since we start an alter ego, we're going to exhaust that to get a player side scheme and add it to our hand. So we don't get to play this one for free, but we do get to add it to our hand. And then we're going to flip over to hero side because we have no reason to really stay at this point. Give that a little bit of a shuffle. Flip over to hero. Okay, and we're going to throw that in, and I'll get these threat tokens out here. Apologize. So both of these have 3 on them per player. And since I'm solo, it's just going to be 3. And then we're going to use our Power of Justice for 2 resources for a yellow card. Play Heroic Intuition, and it says play under player's control, max 1 per player. Your hero gets +1 thwart. So we are now at 3 thwart right out of the gate, which is fantastic for what we are trying to do here. So we are going to thwart and get rid of call for backup. And because we completed it, we are going to get to re-ready. And this one's going to go in our victory display, and it's going to allow us to get a ally from our deck or discard pile, then shuffle, and we get to put it into play for free. We are going to do Nick Fury right out of the gate. This is like, this might be the most broken start I've ever had on this character. Like, turn 1, double side scheme into Nick Fury. I don't even, this doesn't seem right. All right, so we get to draw 3. That's what we're going to choose on Mr. Nick Fury there. Ooh, we have a choice to make here. Man, I want to do all the things. I think we're going to leave the minion up, I think. We could play Spider-Man, but it's going to be everything in our hand to do so, which I feel like is not worth it. We're not really struggling for threat right now, so it would be overkill for sure. Okay, so to start, we're going to thwart with Nick Fury to get rid of these 2 up here. Get that nice and cleaned off. Then we're going to thwart again for 3 on build support. Oh, I did that in the wrong order, I think. Yeah, okay, so it's fine. We're not gonna go back. But if I would have did build support first, which is gonna let us get a support card with a cost of 3 or less, we're going to get our resource generator. And the way the resource generator works for Cable is every time a side scheme is completed, it refreshes. So I could have completed build support first, got that on the table, activated that as a resource to pay for something else, then completed the ally one, summoned Nick Fury, which would have then reset or re-readied our resource generator and given us another resource this turn. So that's already something I messed up. Turn is still very impactful, but that is something I could have done differently there. So that's this card here, the Gray Malkin. Amazing card. So it's going to generate a energy resource when we exhaust it, and after a side scheme is defeated, we ready the Gray Malkin. So if I would have did this first, use this to pay for something, then laid that out, we would have been in a better position, because I could have used that one to pay for Forced Amnesia and attach this to the ally Call for Backup side scheme, which would have given me an additional completion in our victory row. So pretty, you know, that's just one of those things where, like, from playing this deck a couple times, I could have done that better, and it would have been fairly impactful. Got us a little bit more powered up early on, so that's okay. We all make mistakes. So we have our Gray Malkin out. I think we are going to use the Gray Malkin. We can't play Forced Amnesia because we don't have a side scheme out unless we lay this guy out. That's actually not bad. So we can do Take Out the Guards, which is a 0 cost player side scheme. Comes out with a threat of 4. And then we can tap the Gray Malkin to attach our Forced Amnesia to Take Out the Guards. So at least we get use out of that. And then, oh, that has Guard. I do not want to waste my Telekinetic Blast on hitting the Apparition. See, this is where killing that minion would have been the better move, because now I have the perfect amount of resources to pay for Telekinetic Blast, and I would have hit for 8, but I wasted that because I thwarted. I mean, I did get 2 side schemes completed, so it wasn't a huge waste. But now I don't really want to discard. I mean, I guess I'll just discard Spider-Man here. So definitely a couple misplays. We could have had more value out of this hand. It was a very, very strong start. We still have a good lead here, but yeah, we're gonna miss out on free. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because we wouldn't have gotten that completed. I guess Nick Fury should have killed that instead of the 2 threat on Mysterio's main scheme. And then I would have been able to do everything else I just did. He just would have had 2 threat left on that. So I think that was the difference I should have made here. Okay, that's okay. So we're gonna discard Spider-Man to end our turn, and we're gonna draw back up. Oof. And of course, we drew the encounter card already because I said something. So that is now going to be a encounter card going into this villain phase. Yep, and then I will draw back up to 5 still. Okay, so no more encounter cards. We only had 1, so that's good. We're gonna go ahead and re-ready everything here. All right, and yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and add 1 threat to the main scheme. He is going to activate. Okay, and he's gonna be attacking, so 2+, and it has a boost effect. After this activation resolves, place 1 pursuit counter on Pursued by the Past. Okay, so he's only attacking for 2. And it does not have Surge or anything crazy or anything like that. Okay, so that's actually not bad. So, yeah, we're just gonna take the 2 on Cable. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're going to take the 2 on Nick Fury, and we're going to take the 1 from the minion to Cable, because Nick Fury is going to be going away anyway. And then we will take 1 from the minion. And then we have to do our first encounter card. Under Fire, Surge. When revealed, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. Great. Okay. And so we got Sinister Strike. When revealed in hero form, place 1 pursuit counter on Pursued by the Past. Then if there are any counters on it, the villain attacks you. So that is 2 counters now. I'm going to just kind of pop these here. And because it's not 4, which would flip the card over and remove the counters, he is going to attack me again. So we have 2. And I apologize. Did that card have Illusion on it? It did not, the first one. Fantastic. 2 plus 3. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, so he is hitting for 5 now. Oh, I don't like that. That is unfortunate. Ooh. Let's see. Man, do I just take it? I hate unreadying myself. I don't have a Mind Blast. I have a little minion, but he's not going to be enough to clear a side scheme to re-ready myself. So I think... Oof. Yeah. We do have a way to clear that side scheme this turn and re-ready, and then we can flip over and heal. So we're going to take the 5. Yeah, that's an oof. So we're going from a 11 to 6. Not great, but we still have 1 more encounter card because that one just activated another attack. When revealed, oh geez, place 1 pursuit counter on, okay. If it still has the villain schemes. Okay, so we're adding a 3rd counter now. So we are 1 away from our nemesis. This is, this is in spite of me saying how strong of a starting hand I had. Like now Mysterio is countering me with a stronger starting hand. So he is now going to scheme. And to verify, yes, that did not have illusion on it. Okay, cool. So he is scheming for 2 plus nothing. And it does not have the illusion trait. Okay. Okay. Could have been worse. I will take that. I will take that light, the sacrifice. I will take that, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did not block. All right, cool. All right, my turn. I get to do something now. Let's see. We are going to play the Skilled Investigator, and that's a cost of 0 upgrade, and I get to exhaust it every time a side scheme is defeated to draw a card, which is as awesome as it sounds. So, let's see, what do we want to do here? I want to use the Gray Malkin, but I do not have... I have an awkward number of cards here. I don't think we're going to be able to use Telekinetic Blast this time. So I think we're going to tap Gray Malkin for a energy resource. We're going to discard Telekinetic Blast for a second one. We are going to play Wiccan. And he has a thwart and attack of 1, so he's going to be fantastic for that minion. Also, oh no, I took the damage from him because Nick Fury took the other one. I did do that, just making sure I didn't miss something. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to hope, and we get to choose. No, I guess we really don't get to choose an enemy here because we cannot hit Mysterio until this guard minion's out. So if I thwart for 1 on Wiccan, I get to draw a boost card, and for however many boost icons are on that card, I deal 1 damage to an enemy, which is going to have to be the shifting apparition. If it's more than 1, unfortunately, we're going to get the overkill and put another encounter card in our deck. So there's a little bit of a risk there. So we're going to tap him to thwart for 1, get rid of 1 on our player side scheme here. And we're going to draw a boost card. Fingers crossed. It is 3, so we are super overkilling it. That's unfortunate. And it says, defeating player shuffles the top card of the encounter deck into their deck. So he is gone now, at least. Kind of a nuisance. He was more of a nuisance than I expected. We're going to put that in our deck here. Give it a good shuffle. It was a necessary necessary evil. So. Usually, the funny thing is every time I've used that character, the boost icons are usually blank or 1. And of course, now when I don't want a high value, I get a high value. So that's my luck. All right. So that is gone now. We were able to use that. So now, I guess there's no rush in playing this quite yet. And the unfortunate part is I had to thwart with Wiccan in order to get that low enough for Cable to finish it. Otherwise, I would have cleared that side scheme first because it would have gotten rid of a non-elite minion. So that would have removed that guy for free without triggering the effect. But our side scheme had 4 threat on it, and Cable's only thwarting for 3 at the moment. So we needed 1 more thwart in order to clear that. I wonder if, no, and yeah, and I have to do Cable second because he has to clear it in order to get the re-ready. So I would not be able to do Wiccan first, then him, and then see if the order of operations would allow me to remove him first and then hit Mysterio kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That we had to do it this way, so I feel okay about that. So we're going to thwart for 3, we're going to get a re-ready because this is going to get cleared. There are no minions, but we do get to add it to our victory display, so that is okay. Grey Malkin is also going to be re-readied, and then we're going to tap our Skilled Investigator in order to draw a card since we cleared a side scheme. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Decisions, decisions. I think we go for value here. We are going to use 2 energy in order to play our Plasma Rifle. And Plasma Rifle allows us to exhaust the rifle and spend an energy resource to deal 1 damage to an enemy for each side scheme in the victory display to a max of 4, and this attack gets ranged. I actually forget what range does, so I may have to check that. But as of right now, he doesn't have anything blocking him, so we are good to go on that front. Oh, also, the take out the guards did have my amnesia that I played earlier, so we do get an additional victory display card there. So we are going to maximize our Plasma Rifle, which is awesome. Okay. Let's see, let's see. We are going to... This is a hero action, so I do need to do this before I flip. We are going to go ahead and tap Grey Malkin to do 4 damage to Mr. Mysterio here. So we're going to knock him down to 13, which is fantastic. Then, I don't believe we have anything else. I'm going to flip over to our Alter Ego, and we're going to tap to heal for 4. So it's going to put us back up to 10. Not too bad, not too bad. And then we are going to tap our Professor. And the question is do we want to get another side? I think we want to get another side scheme. Man, I just realized how high the threat is on the boss. So if we heal for 4, we won't be able to thwart and clear that, and we risk that getting pushed over. You know what? We are not going to heal. Risky plays, risky plays. And we're gonna, we would have thwarted for 3 before flipping over. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna be down 4 health. We're down to 6 right now, so we're technically down 6 health from our max. And then we have to figure out what we want to do with Professor here. I think we are going to go for a side scheme. So we could do one that gives us tough status. We could do one that gives us a identity specific upgrade. And I believe we could get a damage absorption shield kind of thing if we do that one, which is the equivalent of tough. Yeah, it's that guy. We don't need lock and loaded anymore. So I think we just go for a tough status here. I'm trying to think if there would be a benefit for going for the upgrade over that. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do the tough. So we're going to draw that up. Do I have this? Okay. Give this a shuffle. Little scary. But we do have Wiccan if we were in need of blocking currently. So now that we have established perimeter in our hand, we're going to go ahead and discard Ascani's Sun. And that is one of our upgrades that allows us to thwart after defending against an enemy for our character's hero's thwart value. I have not had many scenarios where I use this, but I am also the kind of player that does not defend a lot. I like kind of pushing my luck and just taking the hit if I can and seeing how far I can push it without defending, because I really, really hate not being able to activate his hero ability. There are other ways to do that, but if I don't have those in hand, it just doesn't feel good. So I just kind of take it to the face a lot. All right, so now we're going to draw up to 6. I guess we have to do these one at a time in case we get that encounter. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we are in the clear there. Got a pretty... we have a lot of side schemes. Ooh, and we have under surveillance, which is awesome for keeping that main scheme at bay. And we have a mind scan, so we definitely have ways to clear threat here if needed. So, because we are in our alter ego phase, he is going to be scheming. And he is scheming for 2 + 1, and this does have the illusion trait on it. So because of that, that is going to go on the bottom of our deck. So he gets 3 scheme here, and then 1 additional scheme for the beginning of the villain phase. I apologize. So that's currently sitting at 4 now. And then we're going to have to go ahead and do our encounter card. Really hope this is just really boring, run-of-the-mill, whatever. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. So that is going to lay our final, and I have no way of stopping this. Yeah, that's bad. That's a bad one. Okay, so we're going to play a pursuit counter on the pursued by the past, and if there's any counters on it, this card gains surge. There will be no counters on it because we are going to hit the max of 4. So this card says if the number of counters on here is at least 3 more than the number of players, so we have 1 player, 3 more would be 4, remove each counter here. If your nemesis minion is in play, it activates against you. Otherwise, flip the card over. Okay. Forced response. After you flip this over, or after you flip to this side, find your nemesis minion and reveal it. Search the set aside area for your nemesis side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the remaining set aside nemesis set into the encounter deck and flip this card over. So this does get reset, but we are going to get our nemesis minion there and a side scheme, and this side scheme sucks from what I remember. So the minion has villainous, which means when he attacks or schemes, he is going to get a boost card, because that's just what we need. He is a mutant liberation front psionic, and he has a force interrupt. When a player plays a psionic event, cancel the effects of that event and deal 1 damage to Strife. So he continuously blocks your psionic events, which are all of your really strong identity cards, so that's cool. He has 5 health, 2 scheme, 2 attack base. And then for the side scheme, the Cable player cannot remove threat from schemes other than Back to the Future. Other players cannot remove threat from Back to the Future, so if you're playing multiplayer. And the Cable player cannot damage enemies not engage with them, and other players cannot damage minions engaged with Cable. So no one can help me with my my Nemesis minion, and nobody can help me with my side scheme, and I can't do other side schemes until that is cleared. So the way that is worded, this is one of those things where I have not verified. It does not say Cable is the only one that can remove threat. It says the Cable player cannot remove threat from schemes other than Back to the Future. So as the Cable player, I'm assuming I can use my allies, I can use cards if I was able to, and also use Cable. Because it's the Cable player, not Cable himself. So, yes. This is from my hand, apologize. And then the rest of my cards are going to get shuffled into the encounter deck. The rest of my Nemesis cards now. So that's fun. And I know some of the attachments, I think there's one attachment that comes out that could technically, by default, goes to Strife if he's available, and it just like blocks a bunch of damage or something. It's pretty terrible. All around, it's a bad time. Okay, so that was not great, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So that was our encounter card, and it did not gain Surge because the counters fell off. So at least there's that. All right. Now the question is what do we want to do here? We have to clear Back to the Future first, which means we're probably going to use Wiccan, and then we will use Cable to get the refresh. So we do have a Mind Scan as well. So we can clear the main scheme, which is pretty nice. I think we're going to want... We could... we can't. If we had Body Change, we could heal and then swap back to hero form. We could... Actually, we can't use Mind Scan right now. That's a lie, because Strife is going to be blocking that. So that is awful. This is an interesting one. We have Locked and Loaded, and while we do want more side schemes in our victory display, we could use this as a resources turn, since we do have our plasma rifle out already. Oof. So what I think we're going to do, we are going to tap the Gray Malkin here, and we're going to play Followed on Back to the Future. So that attaches to a side scheme, and when the attached side scheme is defeated, I get to deal 4 damage to an enemy. So this is going to actually work out pretty well. In case Wiccan doesn't get a good boost damage here, it's kind of just like a failsafe to make sure we do kill him. Or possibly hit Mysterio if we don't need it. So we are going to thwart with Wiccan. Let me do a damage to him, consequential there. We're going to flip a boost card. It is a boost of 2 and it's our obligation, so that's actually awesome. The threat is going to come off of that guy. So we can do 2 damage. So we're going to go ahead and hit this guy, because we want him out of the way. So he has 3 health left. Okay. And I think, oh, before we flip, I'm going to tap the Professor to draw a card. Ooh, that's fun. And we are going to go into hero form here. And then we're going to thwart for 3 to finish off Back to the Future, which is going to re-ready our Gray Malkin. It's going to re-ready Cable. This one does not go in the victory display, unfortunately. It's going to trigger our Followed attachment. So we're going to do 4 damage to an enemy. I'm sorry, that goes to my discard. And we're going to kill Strife, get him out of the way. One less thing to worry about. Okay, so our Nemesis stuff is done. So that feels good. And because we cleared a side scheme, we're going to go ahead and tap Skilled Investigator to draw another card. And we got Body Slide. Check that out. Check that out. I think we're going to... I don't think we're going to use Body Slide, because we are going to be able to get a tough status here. So we're going to be fairly safe. Not 100%. But we can tough it, and then we can Wiccan if there's another attack that does come out. I have a good amount of options here. I actually have another kind of damage immunity here as well. So we are going to tap the Grey Malkin for something. Probably Plasma Rifle here. No, you know what? Let's just get another... Let's get another side scheme out, because this has a threat of 2, so that's very easy to complete. And we're purely just doing this for getting our victory road, or victory display, just kind of stacked up over there. All right. I wish I had one more minion out. That'd be fun. We are going to use Cable again to thwart established perimeter. That is going to clear that out, re-ready the Grey Malkin, add this to our row, and we are going to get a tough status. So we're going to be able to take that hit during his attack activation. And just to make sure I didn't miss something, when he schemed, I believe we added that to our deck. Should be on the bottom of our deck, if I didn't shuffle already. Just wanted to double check that. Okay. Wow, we still have a pretty big hand here. So we are going to spend 2 energy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. We're going to spend 2 energy there with Genius to play Under Surveillance. So we are going to increase, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that super well, apologize. We're going to increase the main scheme's threat by 4. So that's going to slow that progress down even further. We'll kind of just pop it there for now. So it currently has a max of 12 needed. So we're really going to try to prevent him from getting over to that second main scheme. We don't want that to happen. Okay. And then, I think we go for the, oh, you know what? We can get that knocked out of the way as well. That seems like a better plan. We are going to lose our damage immunity, but I think we still have our way of getting an upgrade from our deck with the other side scheme. So we're going to play Technovirus Purge, and that's going to have 5 threat on it. And then we're going to go ahead and pay 2. So we're going to use our Body Slide and, unfortunately, Temporal Leap. I didn't want to use that, but that's okay. To pay for Mind Scan, which is going to remove 3 threat, plus 1 additional for each scheme in our victory display. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is more than enough. Clear that out. And that's going to bring that back. And then we're going to go ahead and do our Grey Malkin for our Plasma Rifle for another 4 damage on him. So he is down to 9. So we are definitely getting ramped up here. Okay. And I believe that is everything we can do. So we're going to go ahead and re-tap everything, or re-ready everything. Draw to a hand size of 5 this time. Oh, we got a encounter card. 4. And then 5. And there's our side scheme that gets us an upgrade back. So that's fun. A lot of our allies are kind of waiting out in the back end there. So a threat is going to be added to the main scheme. He is going to be attacking for 2 plus 2 more, so 4. And then for the boost effect, it says draw 3 cards, discard 3 random cards from your hand. Yikes. So he is hitting for 4. Oh, and that is an illusion. We did not miss that. That's going to go on the bottom of the deck. We're going to use our tough status in order to block that. We are going to draw 3 and get our hand here. Let's look at all the wonderful cards we're going to lose. A lot of resources, so that's terrible. Give this kind of a light shuffle here. Okay, and then we're going to discard 3. So we got Eros, which I'm actually okay with. Our side scheme, we can get that back with our professor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And the last one is Jessica Jones. That's okay. So actually not that bad. We kept a lot of our resources, which is, we definitely would prefer that. That's actually great. Okay. So that is the end of the attack. The illusion did go into our deck. And now we have to do our encounter cards. Yeah, and these get used as encounters. I just want to verify. Yes, encounter cards. Okay, so the first one we have is Exhaustion. Surge. Exhaust your identity card. That's rude. And it has Surge. We got another ad here with Guard. So that's okay. We do have Wiccan, so we can use him to take him out, which is good. And then we're going to have our second encounter card here. An attachment. Attached to your identity, you cannot ready allies or persona supports you control. We do have a persona. Oh, the only way to get rid of it is alter ego. I have to discard an ally or persona support you control to discard this card. Ugh. Okay, and that is it for him. So could have been worse, I think. We'll find out. All right. So we have to use our mind scan to complete lock and loaded if we want to re-ready Cable, which stinks. Yeah, this turn got a lot less exciting when they kind of ruined that there. We do have a thwart of 4 now, thanks to Technovirus. We have 3 attack and we have 3 defense as well. So we are kind of beefy right now. Man. Yeah, I think we're just gonna overkill it. I don't really have a great solution here. So we're going to use our Gray Malkin for 1 resource. Then we're going to go ahead and use... Oof. I want these. I don't want to get rid of these cards. I don't like it. Maybe we don't do that first then. We can get Blindfold out, or Blindfold out. Then we can use that for Mind Scan after the fact. Okay, so we're going to pay Gray Malkin. We're going to pay 2 with Power of Justice for a yellow. We're going to get our Blindfold out. Response after Blindfold enters play. Look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. Discard 1 of those cards and put the rest back in the same order. 4. Let's get 1 more. Flip these over. All right, so this is going to be the boost card, which would put another illusion in our deck as well, which is terrible. When revealed, either take 1 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme, shuffle Deja Vu into the player's deck. Neither of those are great. Dark Designs is not bad right now. I do kind of like that one being there. And the boost for this card just reveals it, so it doesn't, even if it's an encounter or it is a boost, there's really not much avoiding it. But it does have a boost of 0 at least. So I think we're going to get rid of the evil doppelganger, because we're probably going to end in alter ego, and I don't want him to get 2 additional threat. I also don't want him messing with my hand again, because then I can't really plan much of a turn. All right, I'm going to get rid of that. Flip these over, keep them in the same order. Store that right back on the top of the encounter deck there. Okay, so that is what he could do. He is going to thwart for 2 on the main scheme. Yeah, I think that's what we do. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to attack with Wiccan to kill this minion perfectly. Yep. And Wiccan will go. Thank you for your service, Wiccan. Ooh, we could get rid of Blindfold in order to get that attachment off when we go into Alter Ego. So we're probably going to do that. And then we're going to go ahead and spend 2 strength to play Mind Scan, which is going to remove a lot of threats. We're going to do it on Lock and Loaded, which is definitely overkill. But what that is going to do is it's going to put it in our victory display. It's going to re-ready Cable, re-ready Grey Malkin. And then we're going to tap Skilled Investigator in order to draw a card. Ooh, okay. Okay. This can be a really good setup. Def Focus is that card I said I added to this deck. And we have, I think we still have another Telekinetic Blast in there. But once we get the ball rolling, this can be very, very beneficial for just pumping out a lot of damage very quickly. And he is at 9 health right now. We are going to flip over, so Telekinetic Force Field is not super required. And we do have another way to acquire that since it is an upgrade. So we're going to discard that in order to play Def Focus. And then we're going to tap our Grey Malkin for an energy to use our Plasma Rifle. So we're going to hit him for 4 again. Just slowly breaking him down. So 9 to 5. Let's see. Alrighty. And then we're going to flip over. We could thwart and clear the main scheme, but we do have Under Surveillance. So let's see. He needs 12. He's at 3. He's going to get 1 added immediately. So he would need 8 more in 1 turn. We know his scheme is not going to get a boost. So he's going to scheme for 2. But there's a chance he schemes again. But I really want to heal. Okay, I think we're going to risk it. It's not going to end the game if that gets completed. I feel like the chances are fairly low. Knock on wood. But I really do want to heal and kind of get out of this position right now. So we're going to heal for 4. We are not able to re-ready Professor if we use it here. Let's see. Discard an ally. Ugh, I don't want to, but I think we're going to do that. So in order to get rid of this, because I want to get another use of Professor on my next turn, I'm going to discard Blindfold as the ally we're getting rid of. I am going to activate Professor here. And we're going to get it out of our discard pile. Yeah, we're going to get that. That goes to my hand. So we cannot play it yet. But that's going to add a card to our hand, and hopefully, I did not count, our deck is getting very low. Hopefully that's going to prevent us from decking out and getting another encounter card for at least 1 more turn, and put us in a really good position to go on the offensive. So we're going to keep this card. We're going to draw up to a hand size of 6. 2, 3. There is our Blast. 4, 5. 1 more. 6, and it's this guy. So that will be an encounter card, and we are going to deck out. And it's another one. Oh no. So we're gonna get an encounter card on top of 2 other encounter cards, which are minions. So they're not forcing a scheme here, but there's gonna be a lot of minions. So yeah. So we also should re-ready, I apologize. Let's just tip that over. Man, these minions are just like preventing me from just going all out on this guy's face and just ending this. All right. So we are at a hand size currently. Hand size is 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have to draw 1 more. Okay. That time it was a card we can keep. Okay, this is going to be awful. So he is going to add a threat. Scheme for 2. Let's see. Yep. After this activation resolves, place 1 pursuit counter on the card up here. So he schemed for 2. So we're going to replace this 3 with a 5. It's at 6 currently, so halfway there. And then Armageddon. So encounter, Deja Vu, Peril. Choose to either take a damage or place a threat on the main scheme. Shuffle Deja Vu into your deck. We are going to take a damage, because we do not need to help the main scheme with completing. Shuffle that up and pray that card does not come back out right away. That card's it's kind of funny, like the name Deja Vu and how it kind of just like cycles. Every time it gets used from your deck, it just goes back into your deck. It's kind of cool. It's kind of clever, I think. All right, so that's shuffled. Next one. All right, we got a illusion. So Evil Doppelganger has +X scheme and attack, where X is equal to the number of identity-specific cards in the engaged player's hand. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, so 2. So it's currently 3/3. That's terrible. Next one, Shifting Apparition. That one has guard. Oh boy. Okay, and now the actual encounter card from the deck. It is an attachment. Attached minion gets +1 hit point. When revealed, search the encounter deck discard pile and set aside area for your nemesis minion. Then reveal that minion, attach Old Grudge to it. Dude. Not cool. That's awful. Wow. Wow. I don't like that at all. And it does say shuffle at the end, so we're still going to shuffle the encounter deck, even though he was in the discard pile. Oh my gosh. Oh geez. So we now have 3 minions in play. Let me shift the health over so you can kind of see those guys there. Oh, I'm sorry. Where did I put Old Grudge? Oh, there it is. So he gets +1 hit point. He's at 6. Yay. And I can't use psionic abilities. Double yay. Okay. And that is it. I'm now able to play the game. Possibly. All right. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. So let's go ahead and use Professor. We're just going to draw here. Oh, okay. Man, that is not cool. We are going to flip him over. We are going to discard our... No, you know what? We're going to tap Gray Malkin for a resource to lay our Superpower Training that has 3 thread on it. Okay. Is there a good way to do this? To attack on that. Ooh, we do have that. We do have that. Okay. We are going to use Skilled Investigator as a resource here. That's our second one, to attach Followed to Superpower Training, which once again is going to do 4 damage when that side scheme is completed to a minion. We need to get Strife out of here. Strife is a problem. Okay. We are going to be able to draw here in a second. Man, I have to get rid of one of my telekinetic blasts. That does not feel good. We need to get Quake out. So we can use the gray... if we use the Gray Malkin for that, then we can't use our rifle. And we can't use telekinetic blast until that is cleared. Because we only have 1 side scheme currently. Maybe I probably should have drawn another side scheme to trigger Gray Malkin again. But we're gonna have to make this work the best we can. So we're going to discard Telekinetic Blast and Mind Scan for 2 resources, which doesn't feel great, in order to play Quake. After a minion schemes, exhaust Quake to deal 2 damage to them. So that is not happening currently. We are going to Thwart for 4, clear Superpower Training, which is going to allow us to get an upgrade and put it into play, and also add it to our display. Look as that thing just builds up. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, identity specific upgrade. Yeah. We could do Telekinetic Force Field in order to block future damage from the boss. Ooh, but I also really like this card. We could be getting a little too greedy if we go that route. I kind of like that though, because I'm not going to be able to get threat off the main scheme this turn, so it's a little bit of a failsafe. Quake can take a hit, but I'm going to take the minion hits. Wow, that's kind of tough. We are at 9 health currently. So it's, do we get a prevent all damage from an attack? Or do we get, when the main scheme would be completed, remove this card from the game and put a side scheme from the victory display into play, move 4 threat from the main scheme to the side scheme. So it prevents them from moving, and we can put in call for backup, and we can summon Nick Fury again, draw 3. So that is if that gets pushed. Oh, man. We are going to take out Strife. Actually, we can take out a couple guys here. This is a tough decision here. Nick Fury's always the answer. That is true. I'm gonna go with the scheme. I'm gonna go with the possible Nick Fury play. You convinced me. Nick Fury for the win. Okay, so with that being said now, that did complete it. Grey Malkin comes back. I get to draw a card with Skilled Investigator. Followed is going to trigger, so I'm going to do 4 damage. I'm going to hit Mr. Strife for 4. I'm going to attack Strife with Quake for 2, which will kill him because he has 6. Get him out of here. Let's see. This will go with him. Bye-bye. And then we still have Cable. We still have our Plasma Rifle, which is probably better to get rid of the Doppelganger here. And save our Telekinetic Blast. I think that's the move. So we are going to use Cable for 3. Since we have that threat security now, hit the Evil Doppelganger for 3, so it's down to 2. And then we're going to tap our Grey Malkin and Tech Weapon for another 4, so that will take him out. And all we have is the Shifting Apparition, which isn't too bad, all things considered. We have that as a failsafe. We have Depth Focus getting ready for that future turn. It is just waiting to get used. And then we end with Telekinetic Blast in our hand and Jessica Jones. And we're probably going to get rid of Jessica Jones here. We don't really have a point to keep it. So I think that is the play. So we discard Jessica Jones. We're going to draw up to a hand size of 5. Okay, we got a good amount of minions, which could be good, especially if we're just trying to stay alive out here. And we have some threat removal as well. We're going to go ahead and re-ready. Okay, and then 1 threat is going to get added to the main scheme. He is going to be attacking me for 2 plus 2, no additional effects. So he's hitting me for 4, which means good old Quake is going to go bye-bye. Thank you, Quake, for your service. And then the shifting apparition is going to hit me for 1. We are going to take that. And then we get our encounter card. Please just be either scheme or boring. Just, okay. Place 2 threat on the main scheme. Place 1 additional threat on the main scheme for each side scheme in the victory display. So that is very specific to me, but we picked the right card for this. This worked out. So it is at 7 right now. And it's going to add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's way over. But when it would be completed, which would be at 12, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is another one of those things where I'm not sure of, when the main scheme would be completed, so it would stop at 12, remove this card from the game, put a side scheme from the victory display into play, move 4 threat from the main scheme to the side scheme. So when it would be completed, that's when this hero interrupt is going to occur. So this would have maxed out at 12, so it's going to go down to 8, and then we're going to put call for backup back in. And we're going to move, or what we would have moved is 4 from that. So this has 4 on it now. And that was our encounter card. That was beautiful. That could not have worked out any better. Always go with the Nick Fury play. Okay, so this is gone. This is out of the game now. It's a one-time use. Very powerful. Let's see. Oh man, now I feel great. Now I feel great. Let's see. So he is at 5 health. Ooh, let's see. So first, I think what we do, we are going to clear that side scheme. So we definitely want to use, that would do 4 to him. Oh, this thing has guard. So I cannot, I need to kill that first, which is a little annoying. Quasar mind scan? No, we do want a mind scan this turn. We do want a mind scan this turn. So I think what we're going to do, hopefully I don't butcher this, is we're going to tap Grey Malkin. We're going to use Quasar as a second resource to play Wiccan. We are going to attack with Wiccan, because we do not want to risk it, to kill the shifting apparition perfectly. So 1 damage. That is out of our way. No garbage in our deck. Fantastic. Then we are going to tap Cable to thwart for 4, because he has Heroic Intuition and he has the Technovirus Purge, which, do we want to do that? Yeah, there's a way I could get followed out, but I would be burning a resource in order to do that, and it's not worth it, I don't think. So we're going to get rid of Call for Backup, which is going to let us summon an ally, go back into our victory display. Let's organize this a little bit. And we are, of course, going to look for the tried and true. Cable gets re-readied, Grey Malkin gets re-readied. We're going to go ahead and grab Mr. Nick Fury. Shuffle up our card here, our deck. With Nick Fury, we're going to go ahead and draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Something. He can also do some, yeah, you know what? He's kind of perfect for that. We are going to, tap Skilled Investigator for a card draw. Almost missed it. Cool, cool. We are going to tap with Nick Fury to do 2 damage to Mysterio, bring him down to 3. We are going to use our Grey Malkin, because I do not believe we have a way of getting another side scheme into play here. Just want to verify. And tap our plasma rifle to do 4. So that's going to push him over into his next phase. And this does not say, I know some villains say wait till the end of the phase. His does not. So he is just going to transition. And he has 16 health in this phase. None of the damage carries over. And it says, when revealed, discard the top 5 cards of each player's deck. Then he has Bound by Fear, Force Response. After you resolve a boost card during Mysterio's activation, place that card on the top of your deck if it's an illusion trait. So now that's going to immediately get in our way if it happens to have the illusion trait. So we have to go ahead and discard the top 5 cards of our player deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got the encounter card. You son of a gun. Okay. And what does it say? If you were to discard, I do another one. Wait, that's worded interesting. When you draw or discard an encounter card from your deck, deal it to yourself as a face-down encounter card, then draw one. So I get to draw a card after discarding an encounter card for that effect. Because it says I put that over, it's an encounter card now, but then I get to draw a card. That is the order of operation. So I don't discard another card, I get to draw a card. That's, I guess that is like the, hey, we're sorry for giving you another encounter card. I don't know what that trade-off is there, but I am not going to complain. I am just reading the card. I didn't make the rules, I promise. Okay. So, with that being said, we still have Cable with 3 attack out. We are going to tap our Def Focus. Heck yeah. And we are going to discard... Let's see. We're going to discard... Actually, yeah, let's just do this. We're going to discard our Genius for 2 resources here. And we're going to play Telekinetic Blast, which is going to do 6 plus 1 for every side scheme in the victory display. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage, which brings him down to 2. And we have a, I mean, we have a massive hand of cards here. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and play the blast. Just to really add insult to injury here, we're just going to discard 2 random cards. Who cares? We're going to play Mind Scan, which is going to do 3 threat plus 1 for each additional in the victory display. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to get rid of all of the threats on Mr. Mysterio here. Just because I want to end with nothing. I want him to be on stage 1 with nothing. And then we're going to use the Power of Justice and another resource in order to play Blindfold for literally no reason. We are going to attack for 0 and take consequential damage on Blindfold because he tripped and fell. And then we're going to attack with Cable for 3 damage to kill Mysterio. There you have it. That was Mysterio on Expert. Yay! That was fun. Let me go ahead, turn this up a little bit. Got a little bit of music. I don't know why I did that. Okay, yeah, let's see. I'm gonna have to fix my camera here, so just hold on 1 second. Yep. That's me just hanging out. Let's turn that filter off. Circle filter. Yay. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, it's not even full screen. Yeah, I forgot I have to re-add the chat to the other camera angle as well. But yeah, that's going to be Cable, Justice Cable, using the Web Warrior Fanatic deck that he made with 1 edition of Depth Focus. And that is going to be me going against Mysterio on Expert using Standard 3, Expert 1, and then all of his kind of just preset deck or card encounter recommendations. Yeah, that was a fun game. That is a really interesting chaotic encounter. There's a lot of room for insanity to ensue with all of the different encounter cards that eventually do get in your deck. I imagine the longer this match goes on, the scarier it gets. You know, I did not get to a point where we had an acceleration token. I was able to get under surveillance in just in time to prevent that main scheme from pushing over, and also get my upgrade that allowed me to put in a side scheme, move that threat over, and keep them from transitioning one more time. So it's kind of what Justice is made to do. You know, they're really good at thwarting, they're really good at kind of holding a lot of threat at bay, and it's part of why I love this deck. You know, it has like a very strong kind of table management feel to it while you're still kind of building up that board, and then once you have it fully built up, man, you can just do incredible amount of damage. You can remove an insane amount of threat. A lot of his, if not all of his support side schemes are really beneficial, not just for him, but they affect all the players at the table. So they're just very powerful. Like, you can get cards that allow every single person to draw an ally and put it into play. You can get cards that allow everyone to get an identity specific upgrade, get a weapon, get a tough status, all kinds of stuff. So I feel like this deck is so much fun. Incredibly fun solo, even more fun in multiplayer. It's a little bit slower because the threat count on your player side schemes is a lot higher. If you have someone that's willing to help you, it's not too bad. But we did play yesterday. I played with a friend that did the Groot pre-con deck, and he had a lot of upgrades and not many allies, but I was able to help him get those out very effectively and very quickly. And Body Slide became really useful. I don't use it super often when I'm playing solo, but with him, he wants to be, I'm actually going to switch back over here. He wants to be in his alter ego form in order to add counters, so he can empower his Groot card identity cards. So with this, I was able to allow him to swap into his alter ego, get those counters for free, then swap back to hero form and just do really big chunks of damage. It was actually really cool to watch, because I know Groot is not one of those characters that's super liked in the community from what I've seen. You know, the growth counters have that trade-off of you have to expend them in order to defend and in order to use a lot of your upgrades. So you get into this position where it's really hard to keep your growth counters out, and it kind of feels like you're just struggling to keep up. But in a multiplayer scenario, you can have people kind of help him you know, get up to that point, and then Body Slide just really elevates those growth counters to excel a lot faster. So that was really cool to see. I've never played Groot. It was the first time I saw him. So it was neat to see that Cable was so beneficial to assisting, and it makes me think of so many other characters like Iron Man and his slow build up, and just like different characters like that just don't always want to be an alter ego at the end of their turn, but they benefit from going to alter ego and swapping back. So it's just really cool. Like, I could see it being awesome for Magneto, getting a lot more cards, you know, shuffled from your discard back in your deck. All kinds of really cool, fun ideas. So yeah, Cable is by far probably my favorite character so far. I have not played a lot of them still. But yeah, I love this game. I cannot recommend this game enough. There is an expansion coming out next month that I'm super excited for. I've been spending the last 2 months kind of just catching up and buying a lot of the character packs and expansions that I didn't own already. So it's been fun just kind of experiencing that. There's so many villains I haven't even touched yet. I've done like 4 or 5 of them. So I just have so much game left to play. And it's just, it is a fantastic solo game and fantastic duo game. I think my absolute favorite player count for this is 2-player. When me and Amber play, it's easily the most fun I have playing it. But the challenge and the simplicity of managing the villain phase makes me really enjoy solo play as well. And I've had some really intense nail-biting encounters against different villains, especially on expert mode, that have just made it so rewarding. Like, I have not got that feeling from a board game in so long. Usually it feels like you're managing too many things, which is taking away from the fun, or you know, the characters aren't really that unique, so it feels like you're kind of just doing the same build and the same thing every single time. And yeah, I don't know, like the way bosses interact with you is usually just damage and healing, and I love this game. So 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Definitely plan on streaming more of this in the future. We are going to be streaming other board games on the channel as well. Just a little bit of a Marvel Champions hump here because I am just enjoying it way too much. So I might as well get some content out there to you guys while I'm enjoying it so much, and kind of just share my thoughts. So yeah, I hope I see you guys on the next stream. Appreciate the good job, babe. It was a good win. It was a really fun fight. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye, adventurers.